Now, she is one of Australia's most successful and prolific novelists, also one of the nicest, with her debut novel, Heart of the Dreaming, selling more than 150,000 copies a year for the past decade.
She's so successful. Landscapes, of course, in history play a big part in her work. And for Di Morrissey's 26th title, Arcadia, Tasmania and its ancient forests played a central role. And we're delighted to say Di Morrissey joins us in the studio now. Di Morrissey, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you both.
Happy 26th.
Yes, yes. Where has it gone?
Well, it's gone in a flurry of extraordinarily hard work. You really are one of the most diligent Australian authors going around.
26 books in 27 years. Yes.
Oh.
Well, I was trained as a journalist and, you know, you never miss a deadline and it's my full-time job. That's what I do. But I do have a system of working with my editor as I write, which is kind of unusual for publishing. You generally write the whole book and give it in and then they go, oh, you should have changed it at chapter 3. So
you don't have a plan, do you, for most of your novels?
No, I mean...
It evolves organically, I guess, as you write.
Yeah, it does. They're inspired by landscape, by a particular area of Australia. Then I go there, spend time there, and so I have a place and I have its background and history and stories and characters, and then we all move into my studio and I follow what they do every day.
Your process is really interesting, and I know authors get asked this all the time, particularly by readers, you know, how do you work and how many words a day? But in your case, it's really interesting because you are so focused and because you're so prolific. You're at your desk early every morning, fully dressed and fully made up and fully attired.
Television does that to you.
For those who don't know, Di worked on Good Morning Australia in the 1980s.
Yes, from day one for 8 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know how to get prepared. And then do you have a word limit that you have to reach?
No, that's too stressful. Whatever comes out on the day.
And what if nothing comes out on the day?
No, you can't allow that. You have to do something. Just write your name over and over or something. But no, once you're in the system, having been to the place, you know, you shut your eyes, and I'm back in Tasmania in the, you know, the brooding mist and the cold and the, and you know, you're there. So then I just pick up where I left off, and I just have learned to trust.
You've been to most parts of Australia writing previous novels. What drew you to Tassie for this book, Di?
I just felt its time had come. I've been kind of thinking about Tasmania, and I do have that journalist instinct. I must say that wherever I place a book, by the time the book comes out, it's flavour of the month, which is rather timely. And Tasmania's time has come. I mean, Mona has been amazing, the gallery and museum, but the food and wine, and there's a lot of, you know, there's a sort of an exodus to Tasmania now, given climate change. We can't grow cold weather wines in parts of Australia, so everyone is moving to Tasmania. There's even Americans hiding out there for Mr. Trump. It's the last bastion on the planet.
And New Zealand.
Yes.
And Antarctica will be next.
Yeah, and it's a very special place because I really have a thing about old growth forests, how important they are. They really are our lungs and the saviour of the planet, and they're discovering through the fungi and stuff that, you know, not only is penicillin, goodness knows what else is there. We can't keep land clearing. We can't keep chopping down old trees. And, you know, in South Korea and Japan, you go and you sit in a forest for healing. So we should treasure them. And, and of course, Tasmania is the forests are just extraordinary, and the old rivers, and, you know, we have to protect these things.
Di, with someone who produces as many books as you do, and you have, you know, legions of fans around the country and, of course, elsewhere too, the touring and support and everything you have to do for a book promotion, that must be pretty big and a bit of a grind, I imagine.
Oh, well, I'm lucky having had the experience having worked in television and newspapers and stuff. But it's fun because it's a very lonely existence sitting all day in my studio from 6 to 6. So it's great to come out and meet people and get ideas and get feedback.
How much of your year is taken up with that?
I write for 7 months. I set a month travelling and doing the research. But as you might remember, I also publish a monthly newspaper.
Yes.
And I'm now going to produce a television series based on one of my books. I've teamed up with David Jousey, who did Mystery Road.
Oh, wow.
We're doing the
Great
Broom
series.
book. Yeah.
Yes.
Tears of the Moon.
My God,
Yeah.
so not less
I've just
busy,
been in
much
Los
more busy.
Angeles talking to all the networks and everything.
She's got the Los Angeles glow about her, doesn't she, at the moment?
You're a machine, Di Morrissey.
Oh, no. And I spend time with my grandkids.
Yeah.
So,
You've written kids' books, I think, one for each grandkid,
Yes,
is that right?
I have. Yes, I love doing that. And I'm now the ambassador for the Royal Institute of Deaf and Blind Children because they are such an extraordinary... They're the second oldest charity in Australia. Did you know that?
I did not know that,
No. Red Cross was first. So I'm helping there where wherever I can as well, because the work they do is extraordinary.
All right, now, is the next book underway?
Oh yes, I have it all in place, but I have no idea quite what's going to happen or where it's going to be.
You've got the not the location sorted yet.
I do have the location.
Okay.
Can you tell us where?
I will tell you. This is your scoop.
Okay.
It is going to be Sydney.
Oh,
right.
That unknown city.
I've never done an urban book, and I'm just peeling away the layers. And Sydney is changing so much for the worse. You know, not just cutting down the trees, but the building, and it's becoming cement canyons, and we're destroying a really beautiful city.
Well, one of my favourite Australian books, and series of them were set in Sydney, in the Rocks, Ruth Park's novels,
Ruth
of
Park.
course. Yeah.
Yes.
So it'd be lovely to have some sort of latter-day successor to
and
that.
I've got a very good friend, Indigenous Dharawal friend who's, you know, all those wonderful aunties, all the elders. And there's a side to Sydney that was there in the beginning that places still exist that we don't know about.
Oh,
so there's a whole other side of Sydney I thought I would like to peel away and explore.
The underbelly.
Indeed.
No doubt as successful as the others. Di Morrissey, nice to spend time with you. Thank you.
Thank you both very much, and congratulations on all you do. Good on you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Spoken from a former breakfast TV host. Do you miss it at all?
She feels the pain.
No, I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all.